So, Billy was given the chance to visit Aquitar to... No, I don't remember why he went there. This was like 16 years ago when I saw that. Who the hell cares why he went there? All I remember is that we owed the Aquitarian Rangers so much for saving our butts during Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3 when everybody got shrank down to about half their ages, but they were still in high school instead of middle school or elementary school. Yeah, remember that plot line? Yeah, we owe them for that. So we helped the Aquitarians with their problem, and then he came home. La-di-da. A little bit later, Zordon, Alpha 5, and Billy get it stuck in their heads that there may come a time when the Zeo Megazord is damaged so badly that it may not be able to immediately respond to the next attack. Now why would they think that? And so the three put their heads together and came up with a contingency plan. And that eventually led to the creation of the Red Battle Zord. I'm glad you asked that question. You see, the Aquitarians are naturally telepathic, and they use their telepathic powers to control their own giant fighting machines, which are known as Battle Borgs. And so, while he was on their planet, Billy learned a lot about that telepathic connection. Not just the biology of the Aquitarians, but also how the Battle Borgs operate without a pilot actually sitting inside. Well, he wasn't able to successfully recreate a completely telepathic system, but he was able to take parts of those designs and integrate it into the Red Battle Zord. This specific Zeo Zord was custom built to be piloted by Zeo Ranger 5 Red, hence why it's all red and it has a big black star on its face. Just in case you're wondering. So, in order to get the Red Battle Zord to respond properly, rather than just moving levers and pushing buttons and foot pedals, he actually has to think the Red Battle Zord to move, rather than just doing all the things I just described to you. But here's the thing, it does take a degree of control in order to operate the Red Battlezord, and if Tommy's mind isn't completely clear of interference, then the Red Battlezord will go out of control and bury itself in a rock slide. Like most of the previous secondary robos that have appeared to supplement the first Megazord, the Red Battlezord cannot transform by itself. So what you see is what you get. It's got some nice detailing on it. It's got the Zeo logo there. Nice decal right there. It's got these nice laser cannon features right here. By the way, the only posability on the Red Battlezord is in the shoulders, and that's it. So clearly this is designed to interact with another toy, hence the hooks right here, and the big obvious fins and gaps sitting in here. The only thing I can understand why it is that we don't have posable head, posable elbows, posable wrist, even though, you know, the Zeo Megazord had awesome articulation in the arms, but I always missed a little bit in the hips and in the knees. Just a little something, even if it was, you know, side to side or a little forward and backwards, just a little. Now obviously because of the telescoping for the transformation, you can understand why, but I still missed it. And I discovered the other day that I accidentally stripped the gear, or stripped the screw head, the hole, so you can see the two C-size batteries in there, complete with black rubber pads. So anyways, not much to be said. That's it for the Red Battlezord. The arsenal of a Megazord battle is dependent on what kind of monster of the week you have running around and what the Megazord itself has available to it. Typically a sword, a shield, maybe a blaster or other kind of energy weapon, once in a very great while a missile launcher, but for the most part the fighting is reduced to simple punches and kicks. Well, the Red Battlezord takes this to a whole new level with an action feature devoted specifically to this blocky style of fighting. Here's your on-off switch right here. Now I apologize, the batteries on this are a little low and I'm too lazy to go to the store right now. It takes two C-size batteries. Anyways, here it has two switches, or two positions. Here's the first one. Actually, no, here's the second one. Now that primary position where it's punching really fast, that's what's used for when the red Battlezord is by itself. The slower position is for the Zeo Mega-Battlezord combination later on. Anyways, the funny thing is, if you turn it to the higher position, you can make it walk if you let go. Lol. Now here's the problem with posing the red Battlezord is you really have to time when that switch is turned on and off, which makes posing kind of interesting. Here, watch what happens when I twist the arm. You see how it starts retracting? That's only... Now listen. Here there's an extra click in there. That's the gear system. Even though the motor won't grind to a halt if you hold on to the arms, generally advisable not to do that because, well, here, I'll show you. What happens when you hold on. Now you can time it like that so that the arms are always straight and you can guess. But unfortunately I've heard of many people breaking their red Battlezord from doing this. Having to reset it manually. So really that's the only negative part of the red Battlezord is you had to, twist it until it unlocks itself or you had to force the gears. I've heard of a lot of people breaking the gear systems in their red Battlezords, so don't do it at home, but it's kind of necessary unfortunately. But still, pretty cool feature. It actually punches. The debut of the Zeo Mega-Battlezord takes place at the end of a 4-episode arc which involves Tommy discovering that he has a long-lost brother who was raised by Native Americans. Really? I didn't know that. Anyways, it has nothing to do whatsoever with the Monster of the Week. It's just the story arc is there. They have to find a magic arrowhead that King Mondo thinks is really important. It turns out it's not really all that important. And certainly has nothing to do with the fact that Billy, Zordon, and Alpha 5 came up with a way to combine the Zeo Megazord and the red Battlezord. And they come together in typical Megazord fashion. They do a fist bump, and then they turn back to back. 2 quick modifiers. And remove the helmet. And now before we combine them, we're going to telescope the legs up, and we're going to connect the heels together. Like so. Flip the arms all the way around. Pull this forward so you can't see them. Take this up here, and just like with the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord and Dragonzord, it's got a pair of levers or whatever that fit between the torso and the shoulder, which I thought was nice. And then you take the head off, which they don't say it in the show directly, but this is actually another Zeo battle helmet. You stick that on there, and there you have the Zeo Mega-Battlezord. I really don't like doing reshoots because I have to try and draw up all the energy that I had from the previous day or week or whatever. Yesterday I did the full video review for the red Battlezord, stuck it on the computer last night, and then this morning I turned on Windows Movie Maker and started importing the files. And for whatever reason, one of the segments, which I didn't do a second take of, wouldn't load. Dun dun dun! So, yeah. Lighting's going to be a little different. I'm going to be a little more irritated, and I'm going to attempt to recreate in some fashion, paraphrase perhaps, what I did last night. And so, with those dramatics aside, the Zeo Mega-Battlezord is a simple design, but it's still entertaining. Posability in the arms. We know this, we love this, we cherish this. And even though they don't call it that in the show, it actually gets another Zeo battle helmet from the red Battlezord. Spoiler alert, nothing. This is actually the last of the Zeo battle helmets. And is nothing but... actually has a hole so the eyes can see through. It's just the back side of the red Battlezord's head. But you didn't know that, did you? No. On-off switch is back here. And the first setting is the slower one, so that's the one that you need to use for the Zeo Mega-Battlezord specifically. The faster one you use with the Red Battlezord, but the slower one you use with the Zeo Mega-Battlezord. And it works thusly. There. So that is the Zeo Mega-Battlezord. Not bad. Not bad. Despite its simplicity, overall, not a bad design. My only regret with it was the lack of posability, and that's pretty much it. Everything else just works just fine. Well, that's not entirely true. I wish the gear system and the shoulders had been done a little differently so that it would give you the option of rearranging the pattern that the fists punch at. So, it doesn't have a lot of detail on it, and clearly it was only made just so that it could upgrade the Zeo Megazord. But I have no real problem with that. I mean, that's what the Dragon Zord and the Falcon Ninja Zord did, so it's not like I complain about that. But there's something else I know that a lot of people are going to be asking me, so I might as well bring it up. What are the differences between the Deluxe Red Battlezord and its original Japanese counterpart, the DX Red Puncher from the 1995 Super Sentai series Choriki Sentai O-Ranger? The differences are actually pretty minimal. As a matter of fact, there's no difference between them. They are exactly the same toy. How about that for Bandai America in 1996, huh? That's awesome. In fact, the only discrepancy I can find might be in the legs. There's an indented pair of panels here and here where it seemed in the show these lines actually extend downward even further. And there's an indent here to imply a decal, but strangely enough there isn't one. Oh yeah, by the way, you remember how I was talking about sun staining? You can see the line right there. See the kind of yellowish gray coloring? Yeah, that's staining from the sun. Kids, don't leave your toys out in the sun. That's what happens to them after 16 years. But aside from that possible discrepancy, that's it. But what kind of name is Red Puncher anyways? Well, it actually explains a little bit of the aesthetic that's going on here. You see, the Red Battlezord and/or Red Puncher is not just a giant blocky robot that has cannons for fists. There's a reason why it has those punching fists, and that is because it is specifically designed to resemble a boxer. I mean, look, he's got boxing gloves. He's got huge boxing gloves with Gatling cannons wrapped around it. Look at his chest muscles right there. His championship belt right here. He's got shoelaces for his big, I don't know, boots? Shoes? I don't know what they're called. But anyways, yeah, he's supposed to resemble a boxer. American boxing, I think. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, yeah, that's what he's supposed to resemble. That's why you typically don't see the Red Battlezord or Red Puncher doing a lot of kicking. Of course, when it was brought over and generically inserted into Power Rangers Zeo, the boxing theme was more or less dropped. So yeah, the Red Battlezord by itself, not bad. Not bad at all. Even after 16 years, I still love the Zeo Mega-Battlezord design. It just screams ownage. And let's be honest here, since when are over-the-shoulder cannons on a giant robot not sexy in some fashion? And that's really the entire justification of this very simplified combination. The blasting capability of this thing, requiring that the whole thing have its own support legs. I mean, huge support legs and back. It's not much of a backpack, but still, this thing is made to own, and it's going to own hard when it lets loose. And even though I can tolerate the fact that the Zeo Mega-Battlezord is just two Zords that are butt-to-butt with each other, I kind of wish that they'd given us a little more crossover bit, other than just this extra Zeo battle helmet. You know, I wish I had some sort of chest armor, or maybe some cannons that fit over the arms here so that you could do a real alpha strike on Machine Empire robots. But this is still totally satisfying as is. The Deluxe Red Battlezord is not much to look at when it's by itself, and the combined form is, it's okay, but I'd say it's still worth it, even 16 years after its original release. This is Ava Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com, signing off.